All right, let's dive straight into this explainer. Today, we're exploring the genuinely awe-inspiring world of Dh'Urum. I want you to imagine an alien species that has mastered the universe, not by conquering it with brute force, but by seamlessly flowing right along with it. We're looking at the Chit'tar, a hyper-intelligent species whose technology is basically indistinguishable from nature, operating on an absolute cosmic scale. Our journey kicks off with this pretty profound realization from xenobiologist Dr. Alina Vance. You see, when her team first observed Dh'Urum, they didn't find the jagged, chaotic coastlines or the concrete grids we're used to here on Earth. Instead, they were looking at a planet carved into perfect, fluidic, geometric channels, sweeping parabolic curves, continental-scale aqueducts. The Chit'tar don't fight their environment. They literally engineer its currents. Which brings us to, honestly, a fascinating and kind of unexpected premise. To really understand the alien Chit'tar, you have to forget apes completely. We actually need to look at Earth's humble beaver. Think about it. A beaver naturally alters its ecosystem by building dams, right? Now imagine scaling up that exact biological instinct over 3 million years of evolution on a world with extreme tidal forces. You get a species whose entire cognitive capacity is built around manipulating the flow of matter. Okay, let's look at Section 1, Organic Tech. Teeth and trees. So, looking at the Chit'tar biological toolkit, it's amazing how the evolutionary pressures of Dh'Urum shaped their physical bodies. They're semi-aquatic quadrupeds with dense, insulating fur, but the real secret here is in their teeth. Their upper incisors are made of biodeposited iron nickel, essentially organic steel, and the enamel is reinforced with carbon nanotubes synthesized straight from their diet. They can literally bite through titanium alloy like it's soft bark. No way, right? And this biology is exactly where their engineering completely diverges from ours. While human computing relies on fragile, photolithographically etched silicon and moving electrons, the Chit'tar use what's known as the lignum grid. It's a planetary forest of genetically engineered ironwood. They pump a conductive superfluid through these colossal synthetic trees. So it's a global computer that is living, self-healing, and, unlike our tech, completely immune to electromagnetic pulses. You're probably wondering, how do you actually type on a tree? Well, simply by biting into an ironwood control node. Their metallic teeth physically reroute fluidic quantum calculations. The micro-ridges on their teeth act exactly like vintage punch cards, shifting physical valves inside the tree. This alters the flow of the superfluid using what's called the Coandă effect. They've essentially turned a basic biological reflex into a highly sophisticated computer interface. Moving right along, Section 2, Mastering Planet-Scale Forces. Now, this poses a really fascinating problem for them. How do you build a global network without radio? On a moisture-heavy world like Dh'Urum, standard radio signals just scatter and fail. Plus, they live mostly underwater in vast canal networks, making electromagnetic comms practically useless. The Chit'tar had to find a completely different medium to talk to one another across entire continents. Their solution? Lithospheric acoustic communication. Now, Earth beavers slap their tails on the water to warn their local family units, right? The Chit'tar took that and scaled it into a global seismic internet. They use these colossal electromechanical tail transceivers inside subterranean resonance chambers to strike the planetary bedrock. This sends seismic waves bouncing all the way off the planet's core, transmitting petabytes of data that they physically hear using mechanoreceptors in their own biological tails. It's wild. And you might be wondering about physical protection. Just like Earth beavers waterproof their fur with castoreum, the Chit'tar's synthesized castoreum alpha. This is a shear thickening, non-Newtonian polymer. So if a micrometeoroid hits it at Mach 8, the gel doesn't shatter. The extreme stress actually causes self-assembles and peptide chains to instantly cross-link into a diamondoid lattice. It is an absolute sealant that crystallizes the exact millisecond it struck. Imagine a bulletproof vest that stays liquid until the very moment of impact, absorbs all that kinetic energy, and then turns right back into fluid. All right, scaling up even further. Section 3, Harnessing Stars and Gravity. Enter the stellar sleuths. Their sun, Castor Alpha, is incredibly temperamental, constantly throwing off violent solar winds. But instead of fighting these coronal mass ejections, the Chit'tar dammed them. They use an orbital ring of electromagnetic stations to project massive magnetic fields, which deflects the charged plasma.
They pool this high-energy river at Lagrangian points to harvest near-limitless, clean electricity for their entire planet. Seriously, think about how we travel through space compared to them. We use heavy, fuel-burning rockets. It's brute force combustion, which, to the Chit'tar, is like trying to swim upstream against a roaring waterfall. The Chit'tar used gravitational siphon drives on sleek, carbon-castorium ships. By spinning degenerate matter at relativistic speeds, they create localized gravitational depressions. They literally slide down a continuous artificial hill, just smoothly riding the cosmic currents between the stars.
Which brings us to the ultimate test. Section 4. Surviving a supernova. When human astronomers detected a lethal gamma-ray burst from a supernova in Vela Minor heading straight for Dh'Urum, they understandably panicked. They urged an immediate planetary evacuation, but Elder Kale's response perfectly encapsulated their fearless, fluid philosophy. He simply laughed and told them, "You see a flood and you run. We see a flood and we build." They weren't going to run from a dying star. They were going to engineer a solution to survive it. So what happened next is known as the Great Divert. Over an incredibly tense 2 weeks, the human scientists witnessed a silent, synchronized engineering mobilization on a scale that completely defied human comprehension. Day 1, they start pulsing the planetary core. Day 14, a comet shield is fully assembled in orbit. Day 16, the radiation actually arrives. And by day 19, the energy completely dissipates, leaving the planet unharmed. Let's break down exactly how they achieved this absolute miracle. Step 1, they used those seismic tail transceivers to spin their planet's liquid iron core, which massively boosted their magnetosphere from the inside out. Step 2, they used gravity siphons to tow water-rich comets all the way from their Oort cloud. Step 3, they vaporized those comets and ionized the vapor using the stellar sluice, creating a dense, stable plasma dam millions of kilometers wide. They didn't dig a bunker, they literally engineered a cosmic breakwater. The sheer elegance of this is just staggering to me. That cosmic breakwater split the lethal energy wave, forcing the gamma radiation to flow harmlessly around their entire solar system, exactly like a stream moving around a boulder. While the universe outside went absolutely wild with blinding, lethal radiation, the Chit'tar just calmly swam in their canals, treating the death of a star as nothing more than a heavy spring runoff. Finally, Section 5, the philosophy of the flow. As the expedition prepared to head back to the Milky Way, Dr. Vance recorded this final log entry summarizing the whole paradigm shift. They do not build structures to stand frozen against the elements. They build structures that flow with them. We expected advanced intelligence to look like concrete and silicon, violently conquering nature. But the Chit'tar proved for sure that true mastery, true hyperintelligence, is harmonizing with the interconnected rivers of the cosmos. Which leaves us with an incredibly humbling question today. If we, as a species, stopped fighting the currents of our universe, if we actually learned to flow with the gravitational, thermal, and fluidic currents all around us, what kind of dams could we build? It's a profound shift in perspective, and one that just might redefine the very future of human engineering. Thanks for learning with me today, and keep flowing with the current until our next explainer.
Please like and subscribe.